Hi guys, welcome to Unreal Engine video tutorial series. In the previous video tutorials, we started discussing how do we create landscape in Unreal Engine. We understood how to create landscape in Unreal Engine from scratch. We understood how to create landscape using height map file. We also understood how to create landscape material. In this video, I would like to discuss sculpting tools. Okay, let's get started. I select the floor and delete. I go to selection mode, then I switch to landscape mode. We are creating a new landscape. I come here, let me reduce the number of components to 2 by 2. Okay, small landscape. I click on create. You can see that the landscape is created. You can clearly observe. And what is this landscape, guys? It is a sculptable plane, right? It is a sculptable plane. Now let me go back to the selection mode. Set the player start, press the F key to focus. You can see that the player is inside. Let me move it and click on the play button. You can see now we are standing on the landscape plane. Now this plane we can sculpt as per our need. Again, I switch back to the landscape mode. Let me set the landscape here. You can see we have here a brush, guys. What you see in the scene is a brush. We can increase or decrease the brush size using the flower brackets. Okay, using the flower brackets we can increase or decrease the brush size. So you can see I am reducing the brush size here, increasing the brush size, reducing the brush size. Okay, you can increase or decrease the brush size from here also. Okay, from here you can increase or decrease the brush size, guys. Okay, now what are we going to do? We are going to understand the sculpt tools. We are having here some tools, right? We are going to understand them step by step. See, first one is a sculpt tool. Sculpt tool is used to raise or lower the terrain part, guys. Sculpt tool is used to raise or lower the terrain part. If you click, it raises the terrain part. If you hold down the shift and click, it lowers the terrain part. Understanding? If you click and drag, it raises the terrain part. It raises that terrain part, guys. If you hold down shift and hold down the left mouse button, it lowers the terrain part, guys. So that is the use of sculpt tool. So you can use to create hills. You can use this to create hills. You can use to create hills, rivers and all. Now if I click on the play button, you can see we are falling down. Why we are falling down? Because our player start is actually inside the landscape or below the landscape. So what we can do in that case, selection mode, we go back to selection mode, set the player start, press the F key to focus. So you can see that the player is inside this landscape. So we have to move him up. Okay, move him up and press the end key. It snaps to the below surface and play. You can see this is how it has created the landscape. This is how it has created the landscape. You can see that. Understanding? Let me go back again to landscape mode. I hope you guys have clearly understood the sculpt tool. Sculpt tool is used to raise or lower the terrain part, guys. Just brush on the landscape to create hills or shift click to lower the terrain part. Okay. Next we have eraser tool. Eraser tool is used to erase the sculpting that we have done. So if I click, you can see it is erasing everything back to normal. It's bringing everything back to the normal. You can see that. So that is what the eraser tool is. That's what the eraser tool is. Okay. Next, again I go back to sculpt tool and I raise the terrain part here. Okay. If you want to increase the strength or the speed, then simply you have to use the tool strength, guys. If you increase the tool strength, it raises and lowers more faster. It raises and lowers the terrain part more faster, guys. So if I hold down the shift key, it lowers the terrain part more faster. That is what the tool strength is all about. Okay. You can see here. Right. Now if you carefully observe, okay, let me go near over here. So this part is not that much smooth. So if you want to smooth the terrain part, you use the smooth tool. Select the smooth tool and start brushing. It smoothens the terrain part, guys. Okay. Wherever you have jagged areas or rough areas, it is going to smooth that part. That's what the smooth tool is. Okay. Let me go back to the sculpt tool and raise the terrain part over here. Okay. Let me go back. I can increase the brush size as I told. I can increase the brush size and raise bigger hills. Okay. There is a flatten tool. Flatten tool flattens the terrain to a specific height, to the selected height actually. So wherever I click, it is going to select that as a height point, and then it raises or lowers the terrain to that specific height. So if I hold down the left mouse button, you can see it flattens to that height. That's what it does actually. So if I hold down the left mouse button here, it flattens the terrain to that height. So that is what it is all about. That's what the flatten tool is. Okay, eraser tool is going to erase. Okay, try to understand the difference. Okay, right. Next we have the ramp tool. So ramp tool is used to create ramps, guys. For that we need two control points. I click here, it adds 1 point. I click here, it adds one more control point. We can definitely move these control points using the move tool. You can see. Okay, and here you can control the ramp width, guys. Here you can control the ramp width. You can see. You can also control the side fall off. You can also control the side fall off. So if side fall off is 0, and if you click on add ramp, you get the straight ramp like this. You get the straight ramp like this. Okay, now let me take this and move the other side. Okay, let me move it here, and I increase the side fall off and click on add ramp. So you get nice smoother fall off here on the sides, smooth fall off here on sides. Here we are not having a smooth fall off, it's straight, you can see that. So that is the meaning of fall off, side fall off. So you can create the ramps using the ramp tool. Okay, next we have the erosion tool. Okay, erosion tool. So this is a thermal erosion tool. It simulates the erosion caused by the movement of the soil from higher areas to lower areas. Simulates erosion caused by the movement of the soil from higher areas to lower areas. So because of the wind, what happens? The soil is going to slides down, right? So that's what you can simulate actually here. So let's go and reduce the brush size and just use the brush over here like this. Okay, so let's use on the sides. So it just simulates how what is the effect of air and what is the effect of air that causes the soil to move down on the hills. So that is how the erosion tool actually works. This is a thermal erosion. We also have a hydro erosion. Hydro erosion simulates the erosion caused by the rainfall. Okay, if the rain falls in this area, how it affects this area, how the rain affects this area. That is what it simulates, guys. Understanding? That's what it simulates actually. That is the use of this hydro erosion, guys. Hydro erosion tool. Okay. Next we have the noise tool. It is used to add noise on the landscape. So it is randomly raises and lowers the terrain part. It is going to randomly raise or lower the terrain part, guys. So you can see here, if I start brushing here and there on the landscape, let me use the sculpt tool and just raise a specific part here. Okay. Okay. Here you can see I'm raising, just simply holding the left mouse button and brushing on the landscape. And I can use the noise tool and let me increase the strength and start brushing. So you see automatically it lowers the terrain part or raises the terrain part randomly. And let's see here, let me increase the brush size. See, so it just automatically random noise it adds on the landscape. That means some parts will be lowered, some part will be raised. So that is what it is all about, noise tool. Okay, and also we have the mirror tool here. So mirror tool, what it does, it is used to mirror. Okay, it is used to mirror one part of the terrain to the other part here. So you can see if I use the sculpt tool, okay, let me raise here, let me raise over here. Okay, and I go back to the mirror tool here and just click on the apply. This part is mirrored this side, guys. If I click on apply, see, it is mirrored this part to this side. And you can again go back to sculpt tool and raise a specific part and all like that. So that's the use of the mirror tool. Okay, now I go back to eraser tool. So as I told, what is the use of eraser tool, guys? It is going to erase the sculpting data. So remember, just a quick revision. Okay, just a quick revision here. Quick revision will do. Sculpt tool, it raises or lowers the terrain part. You can use it for creating the hills, river, pond, etc., etc. Eraser tool, it is used to erase the sculpting information that we have sculpted. And smooth tool is used to smooth any jagged rough areas. Flatten tool is used to flatten the terrain part to a specific height, selected height, right? So if I use the flatten tool, I can flatten this up to here, or maybe I can flatten this to here, maybe I can flatten this to here, like this. And the ramp tool needs 2 control points. Using that, we can add ramps. By clicking on add ramp, you can add the ramps like this anywhere. Erosion tool is a thermal erosion. It works on the heights. It simulates the soil movement because of the air. And then hydro erosion, it simulates the effect of rain on the specific area. And the noise tool, it is going to randomly add the noise, right? Some part it raises, some part it lowers automatically, randomly, you can see here, right? And then we have the mirror tool, which is used to mirror the terrain part. I hope you are clear about these tools. Next we have sculpt tool. When you are using these tools, you have the brush types, brush fall off, tool strength, brush size. So brush type, by default it is a circular brush, guys. So you can see a brush is in the circle shape, you can see here, right? So when you choose the circle shape brush, you have the option to choose the different brush fall off, the type of fall off. So you can see here, let's use the eraser tool and erase everything. So I'll just show you what is the difference between the different brush fall offs here. Okay, now observe, I'm just holding the left mouse button here. See here how it falls off the hill here. Okay, the way how it falls off the hill here. So if I choose this and just hold down, you can see it looks like ice cream, right? Linear fall off. This is a linear fall off, and this is a spherical fall off. You get a rounded shape. You see the difference between these 3 hills, you can clearly observe. Okay, if I choose this one, tip fall off, if I choose the tip fall off, so it will be a little different. You see that. So tip is more sharper and it falls down smoothly. You can see that. So observe the difference between these 4 types of fall offs. Observe the fall offs here, right? So that is the use of fall off. You can choose any type of fall off here. And we have other brush types. We have the alpha brush. It takes a black and white image. So wherever the white pixels are there, it raises that part, and wherever black pixels are there, it is not going to raise, guys. So if I hold down the left mouse button, you can see it is raising here. The other 2 boxes, it is not raising. You can see that. You can see here. So this is very useful. If you use the alpha brushes, you get nice different kind of hills, guys. Let me show that. If I use the eraser tool, let me clear everything over here. Okay, I clear everything over here. Now I go near and I use the sculpt tool again and alpha brush and start brushing here. See, you get a nice, more realistic scene. So if you use the smooth tool and just start smoothing this part. Okay, we have more tool strength. Okay, keep the tool strength lower, guys. When you are working with the terrain, always put the tool strength lower so that it affects slowly. So that is what the tool strength means. So if tool strength is more, if I hold down the left mouse button, you see it is going to, let me use the sculpt tool, it raises the part so fast and lowers also so fast. Actually, that is the tool strength. If you use tool strength less, it affects the terrain slowly. It raises slowly, it also lowers the slowly. So if you use tool strength lesser, then you can control, you have more control on the landscape sculpting, guys. Understanding? So that is about the tool strength. Okay, let me use the eraser tool and erase everything back. Okay, so I'm erasing, you can see. Let me use the brush size bigger. I make brush size bigger. Okay, next we have the pattern brush. So what pattern brush is it is going to lay a pattern. Okay, it's going to overlay a pattern. Okay, and if I hold down the left mouse button, in the same pattern it raises the terrain, guys. In the same pattern it raises the terrain, you can see that. So that is a pattern brush. Understanding? Eraser tool, let me erase everything back. Okay, okay, so try to understand the different brush types, guys. Next we have the component brush. So it is actually going to raise or lower the component, whole component. See, this component we are raising, this component we are raising. So it works on the component, guys. It works on the component. To raise or lower the component, whole component, you can use this component brush, guys. Okay. So tool strength, I hope you guys have clearly understood. Brush size you can control over here. Okay, as I told, the area covered by the brush, that is what the brush size. And the brush fall off. So if brush fall off is 0, you don't find a smooth fall off. Okay, it is going to be straight. Actually, our hills are going to be straight hills. If you use brush fall off, if you use 1, okay, if you use 1, you get steep hills. Actually, you get steep hills like this. See. So try to understand the difference. And now what you have to do is you have to sit and explore these. Okay, you have to experiment with these tools. Okay, try to understand each tool, how it works, how it behaves with the different values. Okay, with that you will be having more control on landscape designing, guys. You will have more control on designing the landscape, guys. Understanding? So that is about the sculpting tools, guys. Sculpt tool, erase tool, smooth tool, flatten tool, ramp tool, erosion tool, hydro erosion tool, noise tool, and the mirror tool. The other tools like retopology, visibility, they work if there is a material. Okay, we don't have a material. If I click on the visibility, it shows red. Why? Because it is telling there are some areas where visibility painting is disabled because landscape visibility mask node is not there in the material. So there is, you should use a material with a landscape visibility mask, then you will be having the ability to make specific part mask out, guys, which is helpful when you want to create some caves or well and all. Okay, that's the visibility. You can hide and show a specific part, mask out individual parts in the landscape. That's the use of visibility tool, guys. Here, that's it, guys, for this video tutorial. I hope you guys have clearly understood. If you like this video, hit the like button and share with your friends so that everyone will get benefited. In the upcoming video tutorials, we discuss more about Unreal Engine. For more benefits and be up to date, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep learning, keep designing, keep sharing. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial.